And I'm like, well, that's a cool idea. I like that. I'm happy with that. I could like that. I could learn to live with that. So you've been thinking about investing in real estate and considering kind of how all of that would work, and you might have uncovered that maybe on average your income from an investment is going to be something like, I don't know, 200 to maybe $500. And while that's pretty cool, now you're thinking to yourself, well, like how many houses will I have to have at $500 a piece in order to be able to retire, right? So I wanted to do this math for you and with you because that's exact problem that I had when I went in. So I went in and I purchased a first property, which was a condominium. Now I'm drawing it like a house, but there goes that. So I purchased that, and basically every month I got $250 in money. Now, $250 is not a whole lot of money, right? We can all agree to that. I'm not going to retire on $250 a month. But the cool piece about this $250 is that it proved to me that it is possible to make money without trading my time for it. It's what is known as passive income. Now, I will tell you a story. Years ago, I have heard of the whole concept of passive income. And, when somebody said, I'm like, passive income, like, what is passive income? I had to look it up, y'all. And because I was just like, what do you mean passive income? Like, I know what income is, but how do you make it passive? Like, I don't know how to do that. The only thing I know is I got to go do something. And when I went to learn about passive income, was the whole concept of you don't trade your time to go to work. And I'm like, well, that's a cool idea. I like that. I'm happy with that. I could like that. I could learn to live with that. So I started to think of well, what are the ways that I could do that stuff? And as I was researching, there was multiple things that you could do with, but one of the places that I felt pretty comfortable was to go in and invest in real estate. And the basic concept was you go out, you buy a property, and you rent it out, and you rent it out for more than it cost you, and you have some money that is sort of left over. It's sort of like an additional income. That's passive income. When this 250 came into my house, y'all, for the first time, I thought I was going to cry. I mean, this was so exciting. Even now, I get goosebumps just thinking about all of the excitement. Check just showed up one day, and I knew I rented it, right? I wasn't that ignorant, but I wasn't quite sure what to expect. And so the check showed up, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. I could use this. And then the next month, check showed up again. And then the next month, check showed up again. And I will tell you, I didn't believe that it was going to keep happening. I thought I was going to have to do something, but checks kept showing up. And I really was I think I have found something that I could get into. I really like this whole concept. So that's what 250 did, is it helped me in my mind and my heart understand that investing really works, and passive income and cash flow is absolutely possible. What it also did for me is that it allowed me to start living my life a bit better, a bit easier. 250 is not going to retire me, but 250 paid for a phone bill, an electric bill, and a gas, and then started to pay for car insurance. And you can almost start seeing how this could be cool. Now, my question to you is, will $250 a month, every single month, be helpful to you? Again, you won't be able to retire off of it, but are there bills that this puppy could take care of that you no longer have to work for? Or maybe you're saying, well, my income is covering everything and I'm perfectly happy. Could you potentially put this money to work, meaning save it up and start getting into another property? $250 a month is going to be $3,000 So that's $3,000 a year. Now, again, $3,000 a year is not a whole lot of money, but it is the amount that is kind of cool that I can go out and use to help pay certain bills or maybe reinvest somewhere down the line. But that was sort of the exciting piece when it came through. Then, as the time kind of progressed, I started thinking, well, this is really cool, but like, how many of these do I have to get this to, I don't know, 30,000 or 60,000, right? So I said, well, if one is 3,000, then 30,000 would need to be 10 of these or 20 of these. So I started thinking, I'm going to need 20 houses. And I started thinking to myself, like, that's going to take forever because, right, if the cost of a house, which we know that the average is $250,000, that's like a lot of money. And I have to put in, $50K for each, $50,000 for each of them. Now, do the math of 20 times $50,000, it's mucho dinero. So I was thinking to myself, like, how does this even work? Like, I don't know that I'm going to be able to be successful with this strategy. The problem was that I was thinking linearly as opposed to exponentially, which is what happens when we get into real estate and we borrow for it. So what I have failed to realize is that the value of this property that I have purchased is going to go up in value. When it goes up in value, I have an ability to refinance, okay, and pull some cash out that I can then get into another property. So that was the part that I have failed to realize. What I also have failed to realize is that if I don't refinance and if my expenses stay the same, the rent is going to go up as well, rendering this 250 at some point 300, 500, 1,000, and so on. So that was the piece that I have failed to realize. The final piece that I have failed to realize is that while I could just hold on to it, refinance, and just start getting into and seeing how I can purchase additional ones, I didn't realize that I could exchange it, meaning flip this one into something bigger. That's also known as 1031 exchange. And 1031 exchange is basically part of the tax code where it allows me to dispose or sell the property and then use the proceeds to purchase another property, maybe a much bigger property or couple of properties, with the proceeds of it without having to pay taxes for it. Now, eventually you might have to pay taxes for it. There are a lot of rules and stipulations of how to actually do this stuff, and I recommend working with professionals to do this stuff. Don't do this on your own because you're going to get yourself in a whole lot of trouble potentially. So I do recommend you work with folks, but those are the people, those are the things and pieces that I have failed to see when I first was going into it. Like, it was exciting at first, and then I was like, it's going to take forever. So you could start in a single family home, in a condo, in a house, whatever, eventually be able to get into multiple ones, and then eventually be able to trade them in for apartment buildings. And that was my exact process. That was the exact process that some of the most famous investors today that you might have heard of and know are doing and talking about. So if you are thinking of starting and you're shutting yourself down because you're thinking that $200 is not going to do anything and you're going to have to get like 50 houses in order to be able to retire, please don't let that stop you. You are thinking linearly as opposed to exponentially, which is what happens with these investments. Start thinking longer term and just get into it. You will see how much faster this all actually plays out than you ever originally thought possible. I hope this was helpful to you, and if nothing else, inspirational. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more. Leave the comments below, and until next time, stay forever money blessed, and do remember, you are only one deal away. I want you to be happy. Don't you want to be happy? I want to be happy.